G'day everybody and welcome to another episode of Automotive Carnage. In today's episode we're going to be working on none of those actually. Today we're going to be working on just a Camry. Just a plain old, ordinary, running the mill, standard Camry. Well actually no it's not. This one is in fact our Demolition Derby winning Camry. How sick is this thing? Yes, g'day everyone, my name's DJ and thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Automotive Carnage. Today we will be in fact working on a 1998, I think it is, Toyota Camry that's behind me here. And you might remember this from a few episodes ago where on April 1st of this year, we took it to my first ever motorsport event, into the Demolition Derby with Down the Shed with Byron, who originally built the car for me, and we won. So absolutely stoked, won my first ever motorsport event, first ever Demolition Derby. It was such an absolute amazing time, and I have to say a huge thank you to Down the Shed with Byron for building the car in the first place. Now with that said, it has suffered a few hits. So you can definitely see that it has been in a bit of a fender bender at the Demolition Derby, and it was an absolute hoot to be part of that. And taking out first place was amazing. Taking out first place in my first ever Demolition Derby was amazing. And actually, this car was the only car out of a field of about 10 vehicles, I think it was, that drove away from the arena at the end of the match. So that was that was really, really fun. Anyway, today we are going to give a bit of a tie up and a freshen up. We come down the back here, you know, we want to try to pull out a little bit of this damage. Underneath here, we've got some bent control arms and trailing arms under there. And it just needs a bit of a general going over and tidy up. Also, it's got a leak in the radiator. Now, this thing's been sitting since the Demolition Derby. We've only used it once in about June for my birthday bash, which was a whole lot of fun. We had heaps of other YouTubers and friends come out and just thrash a couple of cars around the paddock. This was one of them. And again, I think this was the one of only 4 cars that actually left the paddock without blowing up or something major going wrong with it. But it does have a leak in the radiator over here, I think it is. So we're going to have to figure out how we're going to fix that as well. And then we just need to align this, rechain it. Anyway, so as I said, this thing hasn't run for about 4 months now. So let's jump in there and see if it even turns over. Alright folks, here we are in the cockpit of our winning Camry. And first thing I remember is that the clutch pedal is an on-off switch that likes to be stuck in the off position. That's not too good. Anyway, let's hook up this battery here, which again hasn't been charged or anything. Whack that in there. Got lights on the dash? I can't quite see. Oh yeah, there's lights on there. Hey! Toyota reliability, you can't beat it, man. That's awesome. Into gear, there's no handbrake because that was disconnected a long time ago. Whoa! And we're moving! Oh, this is fantastic. So that's my view. There's a big steel bar right in line of sight, which makes it a bit hard to drive at any kind of speeds. Alright, let's give it some. Woohoo! Alright, let's pull this into the shed and see what we can do with it. Alright, let's get this thing up in the air. So, 2 things I have noticed while putting this on the hoist. One, we might need to fumigate it first because spiders have decided to make it their home. And I don't really appreciate getting bitten by redbacks or the like. So we might have to just go for a bit of bug spray first and evict all those fellas. Secondly, this car chassis is a little bit twisted. 3 of the arms for the hoist connect, but then that 4th one over there on the rear driver's side just kind of teeters like this, so it doesn't join or meet the car at the same time the other 3 do. So I've had to space that side. It's pretty safe on there now, so I'm comfortable with that. We're not going too high in the air anyway. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll pull the wheels off, check all the control arms, check the struts, see if there's anything that needs to be straightened, anything needs to be tweaked there just to give us a little bit of extra survivability in the next Demolition Derby. And then we'll move on under the bonnet first with the bonnet, we need to realign this. It doesn't lock down anymore. And we need to work out a solution for that radiator. Now, I don't really want to go buying a brand new radiator because it's just going to get smashed up anyway. So we might head out bush and go see what we've got in the piles of abandoned cars out there. See if we can find something that will sort of fit. It's only going to last about 15, 20 minutes, if that, with getting the absolute snot ripped out of it. So let's dive into there and see what else we find along the way. Well, that's not too bad. Only 2 of all the control arms are actually bent. And this is the one that I kind of did like a makeshift claw on the end here, because the person I got this from had driven it without a spinning, rotating wheel on the rear driver's side for about 200 kilometers, I think it was, and just ground all this down. So all this here I made and welded on, and it's bent up here in the actual arm. And that is obviously just a factory control arm there, but considering that's not too bad damage for a Demolition Derby. There's one of those spars I'm talking about. Ugh, get out of here. Not too bad damage for the Demolition Derby. This again is part of the knuckle that I welded on here. I think it's just a bit of trampoline tubing I found, and I thought that this hub was going to be my fail point because I had welded all these arms on. We've got no brakes here. I thought for sure that this was going to let me down, and it actually held up surprisingly well to all the abuse in the Demolition Derby and the abuse we've given it in the paddock on the birthday bash video. Speaking of which, if you want to watch the birthday bash video, which I think is like a 45 or an hour long video of me and a bunch of mates just fanging the crap out of a bunch of cars and killing a Toyota Cressida, jump on over to my mate Aussie Garage's channel. Phil and Dan there did an absolutely fantastic job filming the entire day. I highly recommend it. There'll be a link up here, link in the description. Go check it out. It's only got like 2,000 views and it deserves so much more. The editing, their style, the story is just fantastic. Highly recommend you go watch it. Even watch it now, pause this, go check it out, and I'll see you in an hour. Otherwise, let's jump back into this. We'll put these arms here into our press. We'll bend them out, install them back in there, bring our car down, and then we'll start massaging our fenders and trying to attach them back to the car so they're not flopping about in the breeze. Let's get into it. The Camry is now back on the ground and sitting pretty on all 4 wheels. And we've got plenty of clearance around all the wheels and guards now. And they're looking pretty centered actually, which is fantastic. And that's just going to allow us more room to be bashed and smashed before anything goes driving into those tires. If we puncture a tire, especially a front tire, we are done and dusted, and we definitely don't want that to happen. So that's looking good. Even this one was able to re-drill the hole down here and reattach it nice and solid. Right, now that it's looking good and it's gonna, well, handle straight, let's see about the power plants in here. Now, do the bonnet struts work? Hey, look at that, the bonnet struts still work. Look at Toyotas, man, you can't beat them. So our radiator is, yeah, not doing the best. So what we need to do is figure out a way to kind of straighten this lower bar down there so we can pull our condenser forward, because that's obviously a little bit of natural plating. We can't add more plating to an Demolition Derby car, but we can leave stuff in that will act as a pre-puncture protection device so it doesn't go straight with it. You know, something doesn't go straight through here and into our radiator. We want to keep that in, so we want to pull all that forward, make that as flat and as smooth as possible, and that will give us more protection for the radiator. Now, looking at the radiator, I know it has a bit of a leak just here where it's been smashed back into the heat shield. So what we're going to do, they're only small, so we'll pull the radiator out and we'll try crimp them up. There's a couple more on the front here where the condensers smash into the front of the radiator. And we'll get some pliers or something. We'll try squeeze them shut. And if that works and if it holds pressure, well then that's all we need. This thing's only going to last another 20 minutes of hard driving and getting bashed around. So If that works, that's fantastic. Otherwise, yeah, we'll go out bush and see what we can find. So I'm gonna pull that out, start straightening up what I can, and let's get into it. So we made a little bit of progress. We pulled out our condenser and our radiator, which is great. The radiator has actually got a lot less holes in it than I anticipated, so hopefully there's just one, maybe two that we can crimp up, and that radiator will be good to go. But where it mounts in the bottom there, as you can see, is a little bit screw-whiffy, and for best chance of survival in the next round, we need to pull that out to give us more space back here to allow it to get smashed back into. So we want to try to pull it out. I can't do it by hand. It's fairly strong, so remember this car's got no brakes, so we've got a couple of chocks on the rear wheels. We got our snatch strap and our trusty lawnmower. So hopefully the lawnmower's got enough guts to pull that out without pulling the car onto me and squashing me. And this could be interesting. Let's see what happens. Who am I kidding? That's not going anywhere. We need something stronger. So I was hoping to do this without running the car, because obviously it's got no cooling system in it, but then lawnmower said no, it wasn't strong enough. So I found this big rock here, and hopefully if I reverse fast enough, we should pull out what we need to straighten. And the way I figure it is this car's going to run the rest of its life with hardly any cooling anyway, so it's just getting used to it, you know? That's just... Holy crap, we're moving the rock before we're moving the blooming cross member. Alright, let's try faster. I'm starting to think this car doesn't want to be straightened anymore. What's that old saying? You know, just tie it to a tree and drive away? That felt like it worked. Perfect. One hit wonder. We can work with that now. Let's get back in the shed. Well, after all that, after getting our little beam straightened out with the help of a tree, getting our condenser mounted up, our radiator, fixed the little pinprick holes that were down here. What I can't fix though is the giant crack that has reformed in the top of the tank. You can see like from the previous owners, it's obviously over here at some point. They've chucked something in there, it's all popped out of a crack. It held for the first demo derby, but unfortunately it's not going to hold again. So we will have to go out bush to go source another one. So overall, I'm really happy with the progress that we have made today. We've got the running gear, all the wheels freed up, those bars, control arms all straightened out. Real minimal damage underneath this car, quite surprising. You can take it two ways. Either A, I was skillful in missing everyone, or B, I was a coward and running away from everyone most of the time. I don't know, go back and watch the footage of the Demolition Derby. Link in the description below to that video. So yeah, really happy with the progress we've made today. And yeah, we'll head out bush now and we'll go see all the abandoned cars and see if any of them have a radiator that is of the same configuration that we can just slap in here. As long as it holds water, that's all it's got to do. Right here, everybody, this is where we are currently at. With the old radiator, we were able to patch up a few of those holes that we knew about, but unfortunately, all this dodgy repair here has let go and come loose. So in the top plastic tank, there is a crack behind all of this. And yeah, that's let go and it's just going to be too much hassle to try fix. So let's get rid of that. I went out bush and I found this. This is out of a 2000 and something Ford Escape. It still has its thermos on it. We need to take these off so it can fit in there better. I do think this might be a bit too wide, but it's the only radiator I could find out bush that had the outlet, or the bottom one on that side and the top on the correct side. So we're going to strip it right back to just its core, and fingers crossed it will fit into that hole. If not, we do have a friend up the road who's got a yard full of cars, and we'll go exploring through there. But for now, let's see if we can make a Ford Escape part fit our Toyota Camry. Well, there you have it. Automotive Carnage answering the most important vehicular questions. Can you fit a 2000 something's Ford Escape radiator into a 1998 Toyota Camry? The answer is yes. Absolutely yes. I highly recommend this modification to any 1998 Toyota Camry. Absolute drum. It just fits in there. Fantastic. Let me bring you closer and show you what we've done. If we come in from this angle, you can see that our radiator is lovely and semi-straight, well, less straight according to that bar, which that bar's off that way, and it's, yeah, well, you know, it's in there. It's secure, as in, like, that ain't going anywhere, which is actually a bit of a bad thing because it's so rigid. Once I take a hit, it's very likely that that will bend and crumble instead of kind of wiggle with it, you know what I mean? So, but it's in and secure, and that's the main thing. It's not going to be flapping about hitting on the heat shield like it did last time. We had to make some custom mounts here with a bit of galvanized angle iron that I had lying around. They do just a treat, some random bolts, some big washers to space them out, and yeah, nice and strong. Really happy with it. Now you may notice that this radiator is missing a radiator cap or a full point, and that's why we have this wonderful expansion tank here, held in securely with a giant tick screw. That will do the job. I mean, it flaps around a little bit, but hey, so this is not going to leak. It's probably going to crack at the first massive hit to this corner, but for now, it's going to hold, and that's all I care. So long as I can get to the ring without overheating, that's cool. We can overheat in the ring, just not before we get there. That's a little bit embarrassing. So Honda Accord radiator cap fits on there perfectly, and there we have it. The Automotive Carnage Demolition Derby car is ready to go. Well, there we have it. The vehicle is now up to my standard to just go and get smashed again. So I guess the last thing left to do before we head off to Demolition Derby this weekend is take it out into the paddock, take it for a burn, and see if it still handles all right, and goes, and keeps cold, and all that good stuff that your normal car normally does, but you know, this one's a bit smashed up. Let's get onto that paddock and see how we go. Alrighty folks, here we are in the Demolition Derby Camry. Let's start her up and go for a drive, see what she sounds like. Not too bad. Still into a nice idle. I have obviously driven out into the paddock here. Now, we're just going to take it easy. Yeah. So we're just going to take it easy. Do a couple of quick laps because A, I've only got one hand to control everything with. And B, we just might kind of feel it out. got a little mixed up there and then lost my hat, so I had no audio. Oh, that was good fun. Almost took out, oh, died. Almost took out some of the crops here. Oh, look at that sunset, isn't that beautiful? Ah, wonderful. Well, she seems to be handling okay. It is very hard to control with just one hand and film at the same time. So I think we'll end it there and park this thing up for the night. And yeah, what's it? Today is Tuesday, Saturday night. We're going down to Perth Motorplex. So let's get there and go have some fun, get some carnage going. So you join me here from the future, out in not the Demolition Derby arena. Unfortunately, we are out in our paddock on the track. What has happened? Why are we here? And why are we in the middle of the track on the corner and not actually down in Perth where we're meant to be? Well, let me explain. On Friday morning, I got a phone call from the Perth Motorplex saying the Demolition Derby has been cancelled. Only 3 people entered. Myself, Byron, who's my teammate, and some other guy. So by default, we got into the top 3. Yay! Really, really unfortunate. We spent so much time and effort to get this car up and running. And I know Byron put so much effort into his car. If he lets me, I'll put a photo of his one up here. Absolutely beautiful banana minion fella. I think it's Kevin. He'll tell you on his channel anyway. He's done some awesome work to make his car look amazing. Mine, I just got mine running. I'm not too much on the aesthetics. I don't like to show off too much. So yeah, the Derby got cancelled, which absolutely sucks. So I thought, well, I have this beautiful track here in the middle of my paddock. Let's go out, do a couple of laps, and have a bit of fun that way. Well, that lasted a lot shorter than anticipated. Let me show you this one lap that I did get in. Right, and this is why you always keep the camera rolling. The accelerator just got stuck wide open. That's not good. Let's investigate to see what that was. Well, now that was rather interesting. Out just doing a couple of quick practice laps. Luckily we had the GoPro going and yeah, the throttle jammed on. The car was sounding a bit weird. I was coming off the throttle and it was still like revving. I'm like, this is revving way too high. This should be down. What's going wrong? Hit the brakes and the brakes aren't working. So I'm like, shoot, something's really not right. And then I realized, yeah, the idle's up so damn, the accelerator's jammed on. So turn the car off. Luckily it was shut down. And let's pop the bonnet and see what happened. Oh, okay, yep, there we go. So the actual cable itself is slack. So what's happened? Oh, what's this? Oh, where's that come from? Yep, anyway. So why? Okay, so that spring, I think the return spring, because that's, the cable now is tight. So what it might be is just the spring in here jamming up and causing it to be open. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was that hose. That hose was stuck in underneath there. That's what it was. Okay, easy fix. Just a spare coolant hose flapping about in the breeze. So that's cool. We'll put that inside the car. And now let's see if we can get some proper laps in. Yeah, and have some fun. Let's do this. I was just getting a feel for it too. Come back. No, I don't think we will go anywhere because the battery is now dead and now we can't start the car. Nothing in this car wants to work. Okay, so I mean, at least we got that one bit of in-car footage. This has been a real bit of a downer episode. We did some awesome work to this car. We replaced that radiator, we got the front end straightened out, we got some of those control arms at the rear straightened out, got the car all good to go, but the car just don't want to race. First, the Demolition Derby gets cancelled on us, which really sucks. And now it's got a flat battery in the middle of the paddock. So what? I think I'll just end it there. We'll had some fun with this car. We'll pull it away until March 9th. Apparently there's another massive Demolition Derby that the Perth Motorplex is organising. There's meant to be some other huge nationals on as well on the same night. So it's meant to be a big one. Fingers crossed we get more than 3 people entering. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you there. Until then, we'll catch you guys on another episode of Automotive Carnage. See you later.